Hello, friends.
My world travelers. It looks like, let's see, we're all back home, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Physically.
Well, physically.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are we doing?
Heck yeah, both of you guys were just in London. Okay. Let's hear about it. I mean, Shane, first and foremost, like, new country experience for you, new city. What'd you think?
All right, so
It's very different than America.
Actually, no, it's pretty much the same.
Golly.
Cars look a little funny. No, well,
Yeah, and they drive on the wrong side of the road.
I didn't notice that. I thought they were going backwards on the right side of the road. It was weird. I thought they just drove in reverse, right? No. The cars look funny enough. You never could tell. So, no, that was actually really confusing. And I saw someone do like a U-turn in the middle of the road, and there was like traffic coming. And my mind just like, after all the travel and everything that I had already gone through, it was just like, I broke something. And I'm like,
wait till you
stop.
get to Spain. Oh my gosh.
All right, let's go. I am waiting. So actually the adventures began kinda in London, but really in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had a 2-hour layover in London at Heathrow, and I picked up Simon, and I remember I'm like in a I didn't pick you up literally. I could have though.
I was gonna
Probably
ask how
not
heavy
great
he
for
is.
my back. It's moderate. It's a little more than you would expect, but you know. Well, the weight's in the right.
Fired.
No. The weight's in the right places, So.
Shane's a little more than you would expect now after Germany as well.
Oh my God, I think I gained 20 pounds. I'm not kidding. Look at my freaking cheeks.
Beer or bratwurst? Which of them?
Beer for sure.
Yeah.
And I go in like I don't even drink.
You don't
Simon's
drink,
like,
really?
Just have a pint with me, dude. 6 later, we're at the Rhine Muscle
3
river.
liters down.
Dude, it was.
Did you guys do a
yeah.
boot while you were there? Is
No.
the Das Boot like a thing in Germany, or is that just an Americanized?
I would have done it if I saw it. I didn't see it anywhere.
Oh, okay.
I've
Simon,
not
do you know,
seen
is that it? You haven't?
Not where we were. Maybe in bigger cities or something. So we were in
Probably,
Koblenz.
yeah.
So we went Heathrow.
Can I just say, like at the airport, I go to the little the gate that he's waiting at because he's been there for ages, and I've got like my one little bag, like backpack just for a few things for a few days. And he's there with like 400 bags, and he's sat there staring at the like space. And I see him because I can see the native PHP hat, which he's wearing. It's like, he's going to spot me with this. And he's basically staring right at me, and he doesn't recognize me at all. I'm like, and he's just like, who is that idiot? He's just like waving at me.
For like 25 minutes, I was sitting there waiting for him to, like, where I was in the airport, there's only one way to get to where the plane was going to be. So I'm waiting for him to come around the corner for like 20 minutes. And I just like end up like thinking about the app and things I could do. And so I was not even staring at him. I was looking through him completely, not even realizing. And so he like came up and I'm like, oh, hey, yeah. Hey, dude. And
I know
like,
you. I think.
He's like, is this awkward meeting in real life? Like it was like a catfish Tinder date or something. Like just realizing like you're nothing like your pictures. Dude.
No, what have I done?
Yeah. Can I get a refund on these tickets?
Was there like a super awkward hug? Did you guys not know if you should go
I don't
above
remember.
or below? Or
no, I think I gave.
Was there?
No, we had a nice warm embrace, and he gave me a native PHP hat, and
I was waiting for him.
It was great.
Welcome.
And then,
and then we got on the plane, and the adventures began. And
oh
boy, were they adventurous!
So Coblenz. Coincidentally, I have been there. Oh, is it Koblenz?
No.
Yeah. Where were you?
Okay,
What were you there for?
It was one of the stops that my wife and I did on our Rhine River cruise. Oh, yeah. 8 years ago, I think.
You saw that big castle. You probably know more about what that thing is. The thing that's on the hill. It looks like a castle.
Fort?
Yeah, the fort.
Yeah.
What is it? Did they tell you? Because we don't know. We just saw it. And we're like, that's cool looking.
8 years ago, I knew. I can't remember now. But we did tour it a little bit. I just don't remember like
Did you go
what
up
that was about. But
that ski lift thingy that crosses the river?
we were only there for maybe 6 hours, enough to like see the fort, to hang out with some of the locals, and like they were telling
That's
us
so cool.
some really cool stuff about, you know, their culture and everything. Had like a quick dinner and a beer, grab some photos. That it was a shorter stop of the trip. So yeah, no, did not do that basically.
I love Germany. I am
Yes.
really excited to go back to Germany someday. The people are very warm and friendly, and almost all of them speak English unless you actually need somebody at 4:00 in the morning because you lost your hotel key and there's no one at the hotel to let you in the thing. And
Is that an ask me how I know?
bro, I'm telling you, this was like, we have so many crazy stories. Like, I mean, not crazy. It's just, I left my hotel key in my, like, I had everything, and I'm double checking all the time. Passport, more important than my wallet even, because everything is tapped there. Passport, phone, and hotel key. And I would have my wallet, and I put my hotel key in my wallet. I made extra space. I took out one of my other business cards to make space for hotel keys on this trip, right? Left it at home. And I was sure that I put the freaking hotel key. I like double checked it, and I knew right where it was, and I didn't even question it the entire time I was at the concert. Oh, so we went to the concert with Marcel. The first day I was just there. It was just Simon stayed back and did his slides and got ready for the talk in London. So I just went.
He was all corporate. Gross.
Well, he needed to be. So, and he did a fantastic job. He did it was well.
We'll get to that, but thank you.
Well played.
Yeah.
So, so I was like, I'll just figure it out. By this time, like the first day, we just had a bite to eat. We went to the pub that was right downstairs. We walk in this place. I know I'm skipping all over the place with these. Let me try to go sequentially.
Okay. This is how your brain works. I've come to just accept that.
Appreciate that. So we go into this pub downstairs, and there's like 10 guys in there drinking, all like German, obviously, and they're smoking cigarettes. They smoke cigarettes in the bars over there still, and probably other places too. But that was like, hey, it felt like the 90s, you know, like just good old times, you know.
Everyone was wearing jeans and a tool belt.
Had a Lucky Strike or a Marlboro pack in their sleeve rolled up and shit, you know.
Okay, and, sorry, quick detour on this. Just while we're here, I'm curious, Simon, with where you are cigarettes still really prominent?
I mean, people smoking like crazy, but
how about London or like UK?
Yeah, no, people still smoke a lot there.
Yeah,
but
that was a little bit of a culture shock for me, just because in America it's still here, but in such a diminished form that once we got to Germany, and there's, I think, cigarette buds everywhere.
UK is definitely like more towards vaping now, I think is where people have got. But it's Spain, and I think Europe generally is still like cigarettes.
That was my experience too. But there's some vaping going on in Germany, but everybody smokes cigarettes.
Gotcha.
Almost everybody that smokes cigarettes. Yeah. I'd say it's probably 5% are vaping. And I'd say it's 90% smoke cigarettes. So it's like most of the people there, little 12-year-olds running around with a beer and a cigarette.
And not just a little beer, like the big, like
no, the big
liter.
1 liter.
They were thirsty. Like that's
so
let's see
where we were. Sorry.
The pub downstairs, right? And we go in, and he's like, divide beer, and then we're like, okay, and we're like, and they freaking, guess how they paid? No tap, no, we didn't have any euros. Guess how we paid this bartender at this pub? We don't even know the freaking name of this place. PayPal. We paid with PayPal. We scanned the QR code.
I was about to ask how many dishes you cleaned or something, but
that could have gone in a different direction completely.
Yeah.
Like we don't have any. We're drunk enough. Yeah, PayPal.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm sure there's a
not even Cash App. It was PayPal. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, there's
MVP.
probably some violation here. There's
Some violation here.
policy that should be. We shouldn't.
We didn't get a receipt or anything.
It wasn't in Koblenz. It wasn't in Germany. It wasn't.
Was it just
no
like a personal email account too? Just, you know,
I think
just
it was.
like
I think it was actually.
bronze@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Maybe
Barmaid.
she wasn't even a bartender, you know? She was just like
She killed the guy that
taking
owned the place. And who knows?
She was just in the right place at the right time. Could
Yeah.
get a few PayPal bucks off of these
Why not?
foreigners.
I tell you, no beer's ever gone down better than that first bit beer at this pub.
it was
And
amazing.
Cool.
we cheersed, but we had a seat. The guys were all like quiet until we started drinking, and then one of the guys broke the doorknob off the bathroom, and he's trying to put it back together, all drunk, and they're all playing darts. We're all laughing at each other. I don't know what anybody's saying, but it was just freaking hilarious. And after the long, it was. I only slept like an hour, maybe on the 8-hour flight to London, and then I was tired the whole time, but also too excited to go to sleep. So,
did you at least learn how to say cheers in German?
Prost, Prost.
Good. Okay.
Yes, of course. Yeah, that was
Wunderbar. All right.
That was So we go from the bar. We stumbled to a place to get a kebab. And I didn't get the kebab, but I asked the guy that owned this place, like, what do you eat? Like, what's your favorite thing? And he's like, this thing. And I'm like, all right, I'll take that. And it was delicious. I could send a picture or whatever. We can put it up there. I took a picture. It was good. Simon had a kebab. How was the kebab?
It was amazing. I've had some really good kebabs, and that was up there.
Does a kebab there like mean what I think it means? Like, is it like meat on a stick? Or is it
they cook it that way, and then nicely sliced off into a big wrap and wrapped up with all the salad and everything.
Okay, so kind of like hero form. Like, is it like a big thing on a? Did they slice off, or like like grease or something different?
No, let's see if this will focus. Okay.
Ooh, that does look good.
Let me turn the brightness down a little bit. It looks a little.
Definitely post that on the recording when it's properly.
There we go.
Yeah, that's better.
So this is like the meat with some sort of sauce and the fries, and this is like a pickled cabbage salad on the side, and delicious. Yeah, it was so good.
So you've got the I can't remember the name of it. What do they call it?
Which?
The rotisserie thing, where it's just like
a spit or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Whatever.
Doner is what they call it, right? Where you shave it off the.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm learning something new. This
if you go to get a gyro, they have like all the meat is on the thing and it's spinning around. There's a fire on one side to cook it, and then they just shave it off. Whatever that's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very Mediterranean. This is a German thing, or is this just like
no?
Turkish.
It was the best
Turkish
German Turkish food.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Delicious. So we eat. The barmaid at the first place was like, she waited till we had 3 beers probably, and then was like, by the way, there's a big beer fest. And
let's not forget.
Probably.
She took my money.
In all likeliness. For that moment, she was, because she took money for beer, one way or the other. No, she was like, by the way, while you guys are obviously not from here, there's a big beer fest in town. And I'm like, where's town at? She pulled up the map, and she's like, right there. It's where the Mosel and the Rhine meet. There's a little kind of peninsula. And so like, let's wander that direction. And that's where we got the food. And then we continued. They don't have things like this in America. There was like 40 tents pitched, semi-permanent looking tents, actually, very like real metal counters and whatever. Everybody's selling beer, cash only, unfortunately. We didn't have any cash. And yeah. So, but there's like, by the time we get there, the sun is just about to set. There's probably 600 people there or something. And so there's one place though, like right on the river, that was a real like restaurant, bar, whatever, and they had cards and all that. So we got a beer from that. We just sat there and talked about the business and watched the sunset, and it was just freaking awesome. And that's where there was like
It's so
a
romantic.
table of 16-year-olds all like getting wasted, but having like totally responsible time. You know, it was like not like, you know, what your mind would go to when I say a bunch of 16, but they were definitely not 18. I'll tell you that. Very young. But so we start walking back through, and by this time the sun is set, it's dark, and there's like 2,000 people there. Maybe I'm over exaggerating a little bit. There was a lot. Maybe not. There was a lot, and they had like disco lights dancing and like freaking like everybody's having a great time. Like, yeah,
Friday night in Coblenz.
You almost look weird if you don't do crazy things, like, you know, woo, you know. So I'm just like, hey, let's party. Why not? When in Rome. I just kept saying that. When in Rome. You know,
he really did.
wrong country, but hell yeah.
You know. And then we tried to get an Uber. It was like a mile or 2 miles back to the hotel, and that didn't
If you
work.
were literally saying that, I can definitely know why the barmaid said, "You guys are not from here, are you?"
Right. This is Rome, right? Like, you're not gonna last very long.
Let the
buddy.
record show that I know where Rome is.
Is that the Colosseum up there on the hill?
No, that's a statue of a horse, Shane. You've had 2 beers. That's enough.
Oh, did you guys sit on the big steps with the big horse statue thing?
We saw it. We walked right next to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was dark.
And they were
when
doing
we
some
got there.
construction, and so we went like, I'm following Google Maps, a little drunk, and trying to walk back to the hotel. We went the way that was like blocked off. We had to backtrack like 5 blocks or something, and whatever, you know, it was whatever. We go back, we go to sleep, we get up the next day. Where did we have breakfast? At
the cafe around the corner.
The cafe, yeah. So right next to the pub was this like a bakery, right? And Victoria was like, you must try real German bakery, whatever, pastries, right? So I'm like, sold, whatever, you know, when in Rome. And we did. I don't remember everything we had. I took pictures of it. They had these huge elephant ears, and they had this like a cheesecake kind of thing, and the coffee was amazing. Then this is my first real experience, like immersion into German language. I go in to get a refill of the coffee, and the lady that initially helped us spoke English the first time we went in. She was off having a break on the side, and so the other lady was there and she was like, no, speak English. I'm like, oh, right. And not very much of a Spanish accent, as much as I gave her one. But I was like, 2? I'm like, I'm like, 1. What's 1? I'm like, what is 1? She's like, eins. I'm like, okay, eins. And she goes, zwei. I'm like, all right, zwei.
Yeah.
And she's like, Kaffeemilka. I'm like, Kaffeemilka. Zwei Kaffeemilka. And the other lady's like, yeah, zwei mal Kaffeemilka. I'm like, cool. I learned some German from the Germans. And I'm like, what?
Prost.
Oh, no, what's please? Oh my God, I forgot it already.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, how do you say please in German?
I remember.
What the heck is it? It's not danke, that's thank you. Please.
I was about to say, that's like the thing that's coming to mind, and now my brain just can't think of any different.
I'm not gonna.
Bitte.
Yeah, please. Bitte. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then, so the lady that was like new English, she's like, zweimal Kaffeemilka. I'm like, zweimal Kaffeemilka. Bitte. And then the lady behind the counter's like, yes, bitte, polite. That's very good, you know. And the other lady's like, and I didn't know what they were saying, but I knew what they were saying. She's like, you didn't tell him he's more polite than you know, or something to that effect. And not true, but I can put on the mask, right? When in Rome.
Oh my God.
I got the
this
title
is what it was like
for our podcast.
I was about to say, this episode is definitely titled now.
Yeah. So, yeah, we finished breakfast. It started raining, but it was like we had this little stoop over us, this little whatever it's called.
Awning.
And it was just awning. And it was just really nice.
Mm-hmm.
We went back, we brushed up on his talk a little. I didn't help. I just listened to what he had so far and
He just wrote stuff into ChatGPT and was like, "What about this, man?"
Yeah, basically. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to this concert.
Bye.
Yep. What do you have to say about any of that before I go to the next bit?
Great.
Well, breakfast was interesting,
Caloric.
right? Because we just went into this place and they'd got a bit of everything and it all looked great. And I was like, we should just get a bunch of stuff because, you know, we'll have it later and whatever. And
how'd you ask if they accept PayPal?
No, they had a card machine, so it was obvious. But yeah, there was all of that.
Okay,
and
nice.
more. That was only part of it, and it all looked incredible. And we were like, let's have one of those and one of those and one of those and some croissants, you know, and just like what this massive
4,000 calories
and
later.
I'm like, you know, we've had a load of beers tonight before. I'm like, oh
nice.
yeah, look, looking terrible.
Oh,
thanks,
hey.
Shane. That's brilliant.
That's a great shot, actually.
We're like eating this thing, and I'm like, oh man, I'm full after like half of one of the cakes. Shane, by that time, Shane's like eating everything, and all his plates are empty, and I'm like, what? You're a beast.
Hey, man. When in Rome.
I mean, it was so good. Like the pastries were amazing. Coffee's got needs a little bit of work. But
needs a little work. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
quite
enjoyed the
reach
coffee.
Nespresso level for you. The pods were maybe they were getting double shot.
Screw you,
Is that
man.
what we're thinking?
You suggesting that I haven't got good taste in coffee?
You've got good enough, I guess, to know what you don't like, and that's all that matters, Simon.
I didn't mind the coffee until I had better coffee later in the trip. But one of the first things I started looking at on Amazon was when I got home was a nice espresso cappuccino machine of some sort, because I got really spoiled. I keep going back to making my Cafe Bustelo K-cups, and it's just not cutting it. I've tasted the rainbow. I need to level up my coffee game a little bit.
Okay. So Marcel is not with you guys yet, right?
No.
Is you two and Vika.
So there's a 3-day metal fest. There's two of them the same weekend. Rock Im Park and Rock Am Ring. And I'm pretty sure AM in the Rock Am Ring, I don't know what IM is, but is Aston Martin, because it's like their ring. So it's an F1 Formula ring. It's in Nürburgring, so it's called Nürburgring. And it's the Metal Fest. This is their 40th anniversary of Rock am Ring. This Metal Fest, which was crazy. 40 years they've been doing this. Slipknot, Sleep Token, Terror.
Like, was it the actual bands, or were they like, you know?
Oh yeah, this is
okay. Yeah.
No, this is full on 150,000 people. Freaking crazy. Yeah, it's insane. I don't know how to post like videos to this show. I just show you some stuff. Whitechapel, I got a new favorite band now. Whitechapel, that was insane. Lorna Shore, we're like all the way in the front, and Lorna Shore is one of the bigger bands, and it's still like daytime, and so like we got there a little early and pushed our way to the front. We're almost in the very front, maybe 20 people back. There's 80,000 people behind us, and they're playing for like an hour and a half, just constantly passing bodies over us. We like got our workout, and every time I look at Simon, I think he's gonna be like, I gotta get out of here, and he's like, hey bro. Like and Marcel, like me. That was the second day that we were there,
everyone seems to think that I'm like this innocent, I've never been to a heavy metal thing, or I've never moshed with people or lifted people over my head.
He can hang.
No, I just don't frequent, you know, it's not the first thing I think of doing when I'm like, let's go have a nice weekend in Germany. But it was brilliant. There was, a lot of noise and a lot of people.
A lot of people.
It was
a lot of noise.
freezing. It was freezing cold. And I went and we had these like little wristband things with a little tag on it. And I've cut mine off. I don't know.
Me
if
too.
You still got your shit, yeah.
No, it's so
and you had to like top up the credit. You top up credit on the thing, and you pay with that. So you're not using cash. You're not using your card. You know, they're saving a ton of money on all the card fees and things.
Oh man!
And it was just
wet
like
and cold.
I need to go and get a hoodie because I got to the front of the queue getting all the hoodies and things. And there was the girl said, "What do you want?" And I was like
mud.
"Just give me any hoodie you have. I don't care what it is. It's like it just needs to be like medium or above, and I'll be fine." And I stick this thing on, and it's like for the band Terror, which I don't know at all. And
Me neither.
Shane and Marcel were just like, he's a massive Terror fan now. The whole week, well, the whole day that we
like, strike fear to the hearts of men. Yep,
man. Okay,
but so yeah,
was this one of those situations where you were super happy to be up at the front until you realized you had to go to the bathroom?
That was later, but
it's like, well,
we planned it really well. Like,
no, we did.
We were going like between bands, going to the loos, and it was like not too. We weren't waiting for hours or anything. There were loads of toilets, which is
okay, cool,
new.
Cool.
Loads of toilet, loads of food, loads of beer.
It was.
I don't remember a time, unless we were in a mosh pit, that I didn't have a beer in my hand. I think so. This is the second day. The first day, Simon stayed back at the hotel, and I went and figured out how to take a bus, 45 minutes to Nürburgring, to the Metal Fest, and texting Marcel on Telegram to be like, "Hey, this is where I'm at." I shared live location so he could see where, and he just like he saw me get off the bus and pulled a beer out of his pocket and was like, "Welcome to Nerd." And as soon as that happened,
like
it starts
from
pouring,
the hip, but it's a beer.
Pouring rain. Yeah, basically.
That's great.
And then it starts pouring rain. And I had a
Proper
poncho
German.
on, but it only came down to my waist. And so he's like, "I've got a poncho if you want." And so we found like this bridge to hang out underneath for like half an hour, because it was my pants were already soaked and we haven't even started yet. Plus, I brought these hiking boots all the way from America in case this show was like muddy at all. And I'm like, it's the day before it was fine. I'm like, I think we'll be fine. And before we even get inside, my nicer New Balance shoes are completely covered in mud, and I still had 12 hours at least to go before. No, I'm sorry. I started a little bit later that day. I started like 6 p.m. until like 4 a.m. or something like that. So only 10 hours. Completely soaked, completely muddy, and completely had a great time. We went to all these different bands. It was really cool. Like the second day, and this is like a overall like picture of the whole trip. 2 years ago in Nashville, when Simon and Marcel first were talking about native PHP, I went back after Marcel was done talking and started talking to him about native PHP a little bit. And then my very first ever interaction with Marcel was I tweeted in 2019. He spoke at New York. He was wearing a Protest the Hero band t-shirt, and I loved it. And I was like, "Dude, Protest the Hero." He's like, "Yeah, rock on." So it was like my first. So it's like the very first time ever talking to him was always about like metal and music. And we were talking about Sleep Token. And then, on the second night at the very end, 3:00 in the morning, we're sitting there watching Sleep Token that we'd never seen before, either one of us live. And we're watching them together. And, it's like a full circle sort of like, destiny kind of thing. It was really, really cool. That aspect of it.
That is.
But, lots of cigarettes, lots of beer, really good food. Bathrooms, the queues, we call them queues now. They're not lines. We call them queues to the loo, right? They were, I never had to wait more than, I think the longest there was one like 10 minutes maybe, but I could have gone to another one if I wanted to. I just like, whatever. The music's good here too. What else? There's so many things. Corn played.
I feel like we're only like 72 hours into your trip too. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I had a pizza.
Yo, okay.
Wait, where? Which one was this?
No, that was on the Saturday night when I was on my own, and I went. It was like,
oh, right. He ate a whole pizza.
It's coming up to 8 p.m. or something. I was like, I should probably get something to eat. I wasn't hungry, but I went out.
Slept until 2 in the afternoon because of it.
I went to like find a takeaway you know.
Mhm.
And I got to this restaurant that did take away, but it was like a nice little restaurant. And I was like, the lady who came to like see if I wanted a table, I said, can I take away? And she was like, yeah, of course, just sit here and I'll come and take an order from you and then you can take it away. And I was like, I should just sit here on my own at a table and enjoy a proper dinner. Like if I take this pizza back from here to the hotel room, I'm just going to be sad on my own and it's probably going to be a bit cold and I'm not going to be able to warm it up. I was like, I should just eat it here amongst the German people enjoying their dinner. And so I did. I just sat there on a bench on my own with a glass of wine and a nice pizza. And I ate it hot. And I had a little bit of a banter with the people around me. And yeah.
That's great.
Nice romantic dinner for one on a Saturday night.
Nice romantic
I can't remember
dinner.
the name of the place, but it was very good. And yeah,
Nice.
I have this thing of like, I have to have a pizza when I go somewhere, Have to
What kind of
sample.
pizza was it?
There's bread on the bottom, tomato sauce on top of that, and then a bit of cheese and some toppings.
Okay.
Your usual fare.
Is it like
German.
thin, thick crust, Neapolitan?
Just even taking
where
that
we
as
at?
like proper serious. Like, yeah, it was a thin crust pizza. It was
Okay.
very crunchy on the edges, which is exactly what I like about a good pizza.
Okay, so kind of cracker crust. Gotcha.
And yeah, I mean it was a spicy one. It was like salami and pepperoni and all that kind of thing.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, it was great.
Excellent.
So that's it. I did my thing. I had pizza in Koblenz.
So Shane is meeting Marcel and going bonkers, and you're having this quiet little dinner. That's fantastic. Okay, Shane, what's you okay? What's going on over there?
I was thinking about pizza.
Oh, he's like reordering some lunch.
Yeah, that's actually when in Rome.
Okay. So, but then was it 2 days? Like Simon, did you go the second day?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Well, let me
Okay.
tell you what happened the first day. I go to the show. I get done. So from the concert. So the Slipknot was the last band to play. And it got done, I think, at like 2:30 in the morning or something like that. From Slipknot back to the bus is like a 45-minute walk, 40-minute walk or so. And this bus goes every so often, and it loads as many people as it can. And there's one that goes to, thank God I didn't go to the wrong city. One that goes to Coblenz and one that goes to Bonn, and which is a really long trip. And Coblenz is far enough, and then one that goes somewhere else. I get on the bus. Well, I go up to the guy. I'm like, English. That's the first thing I always say. Like, yeah. I'm like, where's the Coblenz? But he's like, right here. And it is packed. It is like touching the ground from all the people that are, you know what I mean? Like, there's no suspension here at all. And I try to squeeze my way in, and it's standing only, and I'm just standing there. And then about 40 more people pile in. And this is normally probably a 25, 30-minute drive back, but it's a bus full of 200 metalheads. They are going like 30 miles an hour on what I assume is the Autobahn. I know it's not, but could have been as fast as people were going. So this took an hour more. It's now 4:00 in the morning, and I walk around the corner to go get into my hotel, and I get my key out, and there's no key in my wallet, and I just start laughing.
That's okay.
Hysterically. I'm hysterically laughing. Like, of course. I'm in the middle. I don't know anything. And I'm like, this couple comes around the corner, and very strapping young man. She was strapping as well. And I'm like, English? And they're like, 9. I'm like, really? Like, you're the first people I meet that don't. Now, this is not like the Radisson, okay? This is just like a hostel. There's nobody working at 4:00 in the morning to let you in. You have to scan after midnight or something to get in. I couldn't even get in. So they come around, they scan. I get in. At least I'm in the hall. I could have taken the elevator up and knocked on Simon's door and woken him up. That's not going to get me in my room. I'm mostly concerned about my shoes. My shoes are atrocious, and this is what I'm wearing to Laravel Live in London in a few days, and I want them to be nice. And So I called Victoria because it's 6-hour difference. And so it's like, it's only 10 p.m., here in America. And she's like, find a phone number. I'm like, there's a phone number in case of emergency. And it's like 0049 and then the rest of the number. And I'm like, here it is. And she's like, you have to look up the country code or something. Like, I was having a hard time getting the number. And so 49 is the country code. So you have to omit the 2 zeros. But I didn't know that you hold 0 down to hit the plus sign. So I just did 49 and the number. And it was like, sorry, that's not a good number. But then I'm looking around online to try to find, at this point, it is 4:30 in the morning. I'm sitting down in the hall, like laying down in the little hall in the hotel. I'm like, I'll just sleep here. Like, they'll just wake me up in a few hours when they come in and give me a key or something. And, I went back and looked at my phone, and it's like, it automatically like dial assist, and it added the plus sign for me. And so I hit it and it started ringing finally. But it rang and it rang and it rang. It rang 20 times and then it just goes to nothing, just hangs up. And I'm like, if it's the last damn thing I do. This is a small detail that Simon didn't even know, and I didn't mention to you even then. I have this MagSafe battery to recharge my phone. And I had my battery and my phone in separate pockets the whole time. And I'm like, when I get down to like 20%, I'm going to put the battery on, recharge my phone. That happened when Slipknot was about to start playing. I put it on, I turn it on, it's dead. It was fully charged, but it died in my pocket during the rain. I don't know when it died. So I'm back at the hotel now with 4% battery, just constantly spam calling, dialing this phone number. God. I don't even know, it could be the wrong number. Somebody else like what do you want? So for like 20 minutes, I'm calling, just calling. I'm like, this is the last thing I'm going to do with my dying 1% left of battery. This is what's going to happen. Finally, somebody answers. And they're just talking in German. I'm like, please speak English. They're like, yes. Oh, I speak English. Thank God. And he's like, what room number? And there's like a box outside. He's like, type in this code. It's going to drop a key. That key will get you into your room if that's your room number. I'm like, cool. I went out and I thought it was really cool. He did it all remotely, typed it in, and it like programmed this fob key to scan me into my room. I get in my room. It is now 4:30 in the morning. First thing I do before anything, I took off my jacket and I scrubbed my shoes with the hottest hot water before I even took a shower. And I remember standing there and I'm like, my back is hurting so bad. It took me an hour at least to clean my shoes. I finally get it done. I'm like, shoo. And then I laughed because I said shoe after cleaning my shoes. It was funny just for me, I guess. Took a shower, fell asleep, woke up at noon or something crazy. I don't know. But that was my lost my. And there it was, sitting right there, my key to my room, right there on the counter. It's not that I lost it at the show or anything. It was right there the whole time. So that was a relief, I suppose. Then, Simon.
Oh, man.
Simon joined me for day 2. Do we want to talk about the Scottish lads?
I think we have to. We're going to do a little bit because we're going to run out of time.
Probably.
There is like a week of events to squeeze into this.
I was about to say, we're going to have a part 2. We haven't even made it to London.
Yeah.
No, we almost didn't make it to
We're
London.
Still in vacation mode.
No, but aside of all of the band stuff and the food and, the crazy amount of beer that we drank and everything else, the one thing that stands out was we go to get the bus. Like the last bus on the Sunday was earlier from Koblenz to the venue, and it's like 3 p.m. or something was the final bus there. And so we go to where the bus is, and it's heaving. There's like 200 people just waiting at the bus station. What's more, I didn't have a bus ticket, right? So I'm like, I need to go to the booth and get a ticket. Booth is closed.
Sunday.
So it's just like, we're just going to have to like chance it, see if the bus driver lets us buy a ticket on the way on the bus.
You're
and
just
there's
gonna
like
sneak in. Don't
more.
lie.
There's more people like coming, and it's just like, oh my gosh, there's and as far as we knew, there was only going to be one bus, and the bus is for like maybe 100 people tops, like at a squeeze, and it was just like, there's no chance. Like, let's get a taxi. And then, I mean, there was a bit of how do you do about getting a taxi, but Shane sorted it. He was like, called the taxi company, begged for them to speak English. The guy was like, yeah, speak English. And he's like, oh, yeah, we've got taxis. We'll send one round. It'll be like 3 minutes. Great.
3 minutes.
Cool. So we're like, sorted. This is going to be the most expensive taxi ride ever, but it'll be worth it.
250
And then when
euro,
the taxi's coming, and we're like shouting out into this crowd of people because the bus is there, and people are like, what are we going to do? We can't get on the bus. Like, does anyone want to share a taxi? You know, we're probably going to have a couple of spaces. And everyone was just like looking at us like, we don't understand what they're saying.
Like, I was just like, hey, English, taxi, share a taxi. You got anybody?
So I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. You know, we're in for a penny, in for a pound. So we've got a taxi. Let's go. And the taxi arrives, and it's like a 7-seater or something. Like it's a little minivan thing. And there was these couple of Scottish guys that we were like talking to a little bit because we'd said about taxi, and they were like, oh no, there's 3 of us, and so, you know, we're not going to fit in if you've got a 5-seat, blah blah blah. And we were like, oh, sorry, yeah, no, see you later, maybe. And the taxi comes, and it's like 3 rows, and we shout over to them, it's got more seats, and they were like, right,
they just come running over.
We all just like pile into this taxi, and it was perfect. Like, we get 10 minutes into the journey, and the one guy's like pulling drinks. Like, I don't even know where they came from. He's just got like a million drinks like coming out of
all
his
over
body.
the place.
You know? Like,
I was like, what I really need is a beer. He's like, I got a beer right here for you. It was nice and cold, and I'm like, I start cracking it open, and the cabbie's like, you can't drink in there. And then he's like, sees that there's foam coming out of the top of the can. Right? He's like, just hurry up. Yeah.
Hurry up.
And then we've got like this hour and something ride down the motorway with them for this thing, and we're like, it's buzzing. Like, they're proper northern Scotland lads, like
very high
30s, you know, yeah, late 30s, all of them kind of just mental on a boys' trip, like having a laugh, and it was brilliant. And we were just like joking around the whole time. And then we get to the thing, we jump out, you know, split the bill, and like, all right, lads, see you later. You know, maybe, like, we might bump into them amongst 150,000 people, like, really not likely. But then at the end of the day, Shane's like, oh, I'm so tired. No, I was like, I was dead. And it's like 4 a.m.
13 hours we were, 13 hours.
Standing, we basically didn't sit down for...
15 beers.
Maybe
easily.
20 minutes we sat to eat something and have a anyway.
The only time I didn't have a beer, I had a mojito. Because Marcel was like, I'm done with beer for a while. And I had the mojito, and it went down too fast, and I'm like, I'm going back to beer. Sorry. Beer's better.
And then it was like 4 a.m. We're coming out of the venue. Everybody's like pouring out and heading towards the buses, and where there might be some taxis. And Shane's like, oh, there was definitely some taxis. We could get a taxi back. And it's like, that's going to be even more expensive than like getting here, but screw it. You know, like, it's going to be the same problem on the bus. We're probably not going to get back till 6 a.m. and be even more dead, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we go towards where the taxis were, where he's got in his vague memory of where the taxis were. We walk around the corner, and there's this huge taxi, like a proper bus, you know, of a taxi. And there's some people outside just like trying to negotiate with the driver, who clearly doesn't speak a word of any other language than German. And they're sort of like, it's loud, it's late, you know, whatever. We get up to them, and Shane's like, is there any chance that you're going to Koblenz? You know, taps the shoulder of one of the folks there. He turns round, and it's not just one of the Scottish guys that we traveled with on the way there. And
I'm like, no fucking way, man. He's like, hey.
There's all three of them, and we're like, no way, and we just like don't. That was it. We all get into this. It doesn't matter what the driver wants or anything. He literally just had no choice. We all get into this bus, and then Shane goes,
Our
so
new
you going to
boyfriends, up we go.
Yeah. Are you guys going to Coblenz?
Oh my
No,
gosh.
actually. So like, and I think the cabbie, it was unfortunate actually. The only downside of that trip back, it was so freaking hilarious. We could the whole time we're like, I can't believe this has happened again. Like out of 150,000 people, right?
It was mental.
I'm like, did you guys see this band? And it seemed to be like every band that we saw, they were watching the other stage or something. I'm like, did you see Lorna Shore? And the guy's like, no, I wanted to. So I'm like, I start showing him a video of Lorna Shore, and I guess the cabbie heard music and thought that's the sign to play 90s, 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 and like blasted the radio. And like we couldn't hear anything that anybody else was saying the rest of the time, unfortunately. But 90s, 90s, 90s. I mean, Mariah Carey and freaking who knows what else we listened to.
He just wanted to shut you guys up.
Yeah, that
probably.
He's like, all these guys, they're super English, they're super drunk. No, I don't want any of this, you know.
Yeah.
And then he was like the craziest driver as well. I think he nearly crashed this bus about 10 times on the journey.
Yeah, he was on his phone.
Mental.
5 o'clock in the morning. Whatever.
Somehow we survived.
Oh, not only that. Yeah. So we get back. It's properly 5:30 in the morning. We have a flight at 2 p.m. that we have to catch. The train going there is an hour and a half, and I got up at 9. I got up at 8:30, so I had 3 hours of sleep. And I immediately was like, we don't have tickets for the train. Let me go sort that out. I walked to the train station. I don't know. The lady's like, I know little English, and she's trying to show me how to buy the ticket and all this stuff. And I get the tickets. He has a freaking meeting at 10. The train leaves, I think, at 10:30. He has a meeting at 10, and I'm like, I don't know how long of a walk it is from the platform. So I go all the way to the platform where the train's going to be, start my stopwatch, walk all the way back at my fast pace, the fastest pace I can. Like, how long does it take? It's like 12 and a half minutes. And I get there and I'm like, dude, we have 12 and a half minutes. You have to end and be ready downstairs at 10:15 so that we can make this. And as long as we catch that train, everything else will kind of work out. That takes us right to the airport. And then we got like an hour or something until the plane. And I'm waiting in the lobby with all my luggage. 10:21. I'm like texting him. I'm like, dude, we have to go. Thank God the train got there around 10:30. It departed, I think, at 10:45 or something like that. So we had a few extra. Yeah. And then nice trip back to
wow,
Köln Airport, not Cologne. I asked Marcel, why is it COLO? I'm like, do you guys say Cologne? He's like, no, it's Köln. And I'm like,
Köln?
Yeah, it's KO with the umlaut LN. That's how you spell it in German. And I'm like,
okay.
He's like, the French put the G in there and the extra O. He's like, I have no idea.
The French.
Blame it on the French. It's very easy.
We need some more letters in here.
Not enough. Not very proper. Not good spelling. You don't know what you're talking about. That was my French accent. You stupid Americans. You think you know what you're doing.
You trying to do foreign accents is something else.
I actually got pretty good at it. I spoke a little Irish when I was in Dublin as well. Maybe we say that for the next episode.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like we're going to have to hold the UK side of this adventure for next round. Because I'm going to have to bounce.
Yeah. Good chat.
This is a freaking hoot. All right.
That was just the German side.
Man. And all in the span of like 70 awake hours and 4 sleep hours.
Yeah, really. Simon got a couple Z's on the plane on the way back.
Yeah, did I? Did I end up sleeping on you? Like,
he's drooling on my shoulder.
Are you guys able to cover like the London side in 5 minutes?
No way. There's no way.
No.
Okay. It was
the
next few days as well.
One in Rome, part 1. Yep.
Yeah.
When in Rome, part 1. I like it. Okay.
So,
all right,
to
guys.
be continued. Stick around for the next one.
To be continued. If you made it this long, thank you for listening. And if you want to hear about the flight back to London and what happens there, stay tuned. We'll be back.
Peace.
Gentlemen, sorry for the quick out, but we're going. We hit our time. Bye-bye.